Hello all and welcome to today's video. My name is John McFall. I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery, and I also teach you how to make online income. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a comment that one of our subscribers had made, Andrea, and I had posted a video that was a beginner's guide to multi-apping last week, and when I posted the video, Andrea asked a question. So I kind of wanted to go over this question with you and give you a little bit of insight into what I do and what I think, because it was a really good question that's never really been asked to me before, and I think you guys will get a lot out of it. Before we get into the topic, I do want to remind you that down here in my description I have some great tools for you guys. The one I want to talk about now is my metric spreadsheet. I've been talking about my metric spreadsheet for many months now. This is a great tool to help you do better when you go out to do food delivery. So I'm going to throw it up here on the screen real quick so you guys can take a quick look at it. If you look at the left-hand side, you'll see I always put my start time and my end time. This gives me the total time that I've worked. I also put in the miles, and then if you look to the right, for each individual app, I put the dollars that I made, the time that I worked, along with the number of deliveries. Head to the bottom then, and you'll see that it calculates out what your average dollar per mile, dollar per hour, and your average per delivery. If you want to do better when you're out here doing food delivery, the only way you can is to know where you are. This metric spreadsheet will help you figure out where you are currently on average and show you where you need to improve. So go down into my description and grab a copy of it for yourself. And with that, let's get into the topic. So before I get into the actual question, I thought that I would show you some of my actual numbers as they are as of right now, so that you guys can see what I'm talking about is real. You cannot see any information on GrubHub. However, when you take a look at Uber Eats and DoorDash, they give you a little bit of an idea of how you're doing on the platform by keeping stats about your customer satisfaction rating, and DoorDash goes into your completion rating and your acceptance rating. So there are a lot of numbers to look at on the platforms. I'm going to throw Uber up here real quick and have you take a look at that. And as you can see, I've taken 1,111 deliveries on Uber Eats at the time of this recording, and my satisfaction rating today is 98%. It has gone down as low as 96%. But overall, I keep my customer satisfaction rating really high on Uber Eats. I'm also going to throw up DoorDash so you can take a look at it. And I want to dive into these numbers for you too, so you can see what my stats are there. I've taken 1,339 deliveries at the time of this recording on DoorDash. I have a customer satisfaction rating of 4.79%. I also have a 32% acceptance rating, a 93% completion rating, and a 90% on time and early rating. So what I'm trying to show you here is when I go out here and into my marketplaces, I work in Auburn, Indiana, and I also work in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I work two different marketplaces depending on the day of the week and the time of the day it is. And through all the deliveries, which if you throw in GrubHub, I'm somewhere around a total of 3,000 deliveries at this point, somewhere in there. I have never had a deactivation on any of the accounts. I have had one contract violation. That contract violation was on DoorDash. Last summer I was out, I requested or accepted an order to go pick up a delivery from a Chick-fil-A, and when I got to the restaurant, they told me it was going to take a long time before it was done. So it was during the slow time of the day, so I went ahead and accepted that order. I went in there, I waited, I put on on the app where you can tell where the order is. I clicked on it and said the order was still being prepared. Well, by time I finally got to the drop off, I was 22 minutes late according to DoorDash, and I should not have received a contract violation because it was the fault of the restaurant. I called DoorDash immediately. They said that they would remove it, and they never did, so it took me 100 more deliveries before that contract violation fell off. That is the only time I have ever had any kind of negative feedback from any of the platforms since I've started doing food delivery, and I've never had anything else. So just kind of wanted to show you guys what my numbers are so that you could see that, you know, with everything I throw out here, and I've also said in other videos that I'm an extreme multi-apper because I push these apps as hard as I can when I go out to do food delivery. So you can do it without having any problems with the platforms if you do it the right way. So the next thing I want to throw up is I'm going to throw up Andrea's actual response, her comment that she made when she watched that video, The Beginner's Guide to Multi-Apping. So I'm going to read it and let you guys follow along with me here so you guys can see it too. She said, "Thanks for the video. One point I never hear addressed on multi-apping content is whether or not you should turn off the location services on the app once you leave the restaurant so the company and the customer can't see what you're doing. I almost think turning off location services would be a bigger red flag to the app than just letting them track your movement, but I'd be curious as to know what you do. How do you normally handle this? Also, have you ever been deactivated for being late or doing other deliveries? Thank you." So that was a really good question, Andrea, and I want to say thank you so much for asking me that question. I've never been asked that question before, so that's why I decided to throw a video together for you. So the first thing that I want to say is I do not have an employee mindset when I go out here to do food delivery. I am not an employee on these apps. They can't tell me where to go. They can't tell me what to do. The only thing that they have control over is when I hit that accept button. That means that I've actually gotten an order contract with them saying that I will pick up that order, I will deliver that order, I will do that in the time that is required that the apps expect, and I will also do it without tampering with the food. That is it though, that is the bottom line. The apps cannot tell you where to go, they cannot tell you where to be, they can't tell you that you can't work on other apps, period. It is in the terms of service, and I always recommend go read the terms of service so that you know and understand your rights and your obligations to these platforms, but there is absolutely nothing they can do about where you are physically located at. So when it comes to the apps knowing where I am when I'm out doing deliveries, quite frankly, I don't care if they know where I am. I actually did a video, and I'll throw a link down here, that I went to pick up an order for GrubHub a number of months back. It was to a gas station that had a little pizza joint in it called Elmo's. I got the order, I went to the restaurant, the guy said, I just got it and I have not started it yet. It's going to be about 20 minutes before the order is going to be ready. So what did I do? I actually called GrubHub support and said, look, I will take this order for you. It was a decent paying order, the miles were good on it, but the wait time at the restaurant was going to be about 20 minutes or so. So I called up GrubHub and said, I will take this order for you, but understand I'm not sitting here waiting for 20 minutes until the order gets ready. I will go find something else to do while I'm waiting on it, and then I will make sure the order is picked up and dropped off in the time that you expect. But understand, this is my time out here, and I'm not going to sit here and just wait for them to complete the order. So I went and literally a half a mile down the street, I picked up an order from Starbucks for Uber Eats. I delivered the order, and then I went back and I was done and had picked up that order within about 20 minutes. So I met the time requirements for Uber Eats and I met the time requirements for GrubHub, and I took orders on both the platforms at the same time. So my point in saying this is they cannot tell you that you can't take orders on other platforms, and they cannot tell you that you have to sit there and wait for orders. And so this means that you are completely open to doing whatever you want as long as you meet the time requirements that the apps give you. What I want to leave you with is this. I've had a lot of comments on my videos, especially about multi-apping and about taking multiple orders at the same time on different platforms. Some of those comments have been truly negative and quite rude, honestly. And what I gotta say about it is this, is I am out here to get the money that I need for my family and and as long as I play within the rules and whatever the terms of service are for each of the platforms, I take care of the customers and get them the food when they request it. The biggest complaint I've actually had from people is, oh, you're taking orders for multiple apps and you're picking up from multiple restaurants and people's food is getting cold. And what I gotta say about that is the apps have no problem sending us stacked orders whenever they feel it's most convenient for them to get their orders picked up and dropped off. And I gotta say that especially with Uber Eats, there are times where I will get stacked order on Uber Eats, and like the restaurants are sometimes a couple miles apart, and the drop-offs, I've gone as far as 10 or 15 miles from the first drop-off to the second drop-off. So I don't see where what I'm doing multi-apping is any different than some of the stacked orders that I see that the apps give me anyway. The fact of the matter is my customers receive their food as hot as I can get it because I use hot bags. I've got 4 of them in my car at all times. And all the food that I pick up and take to customers always go in the hot bag. So if the order is not warm when I get it to the customer, the reason that it would not be warm is because the restaurants made it and it sat there for a long time before I got there. Other than that, I put every order that I get, unless it's a Starbucks order or a Subway order, I put every order I get into a hot bag. So I don't see where my multi-apping is any different than getting stacked orders on the platforms. The last thing I want to say is I want to go back to the comment I made a little bit ago, that is, I am a business owner. I am not an employee on these platforms. This is my business. I run it the way I want. I take the orders that I want. I take as many orders as I can get and still be within the time constraints that the apps give me, but I will take as many orders as I can when I'm out there working my shift. When I go out to do food delivery, I go out there to make it worth my time to be out there, and part of how I do that is I multi-app and I take multiple orders on multiple apps all the time. If you are new into it, I highly suggest, as I've said many times, to take baby steps and don't try to bite off more than you can handle the first time you go out to do it. But if you learn how to do it the right way and you learn how to do it to be successful out there, it will increase the bottom line that you have, and it will put more money into your pocket. I make the money that I do out here when I'm doing food delivery because of how I do food delivery, and you can do it too. And if you go down into my food delivery playlist, most every strategy I use is already down there, and I'm putting out new videos to make sure that information is fresh and out to you as best as I know it. So I hope I really answered your question, Andrea, and I hope that I kind of laid out for you why I multi-app and how I do it and be successful at it. I take care of the apps when I'm out there. I also take care of the customers when I'm out there, and most importantly, I take care of myself and my pocketbook when I'm out there. So With that, I want to say, don't forget to go down into my description and grab a copy of my metric spreadsheet for yourself. I also have some other great tools down there for you, which are the Beans app and SimplyWise and QuickBooks Self-Employed. These are tools that I use on a daily and a weekly basis when I'm out here doing food delivery, and you should check them out for yourself. I would like to also ask you to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Finally, what I want to leave you with is I hope that you are out there getting the money that you and your family deserve. And with that, I want to say thanks.